What's the realistic receiving yards for Higgins this year? I want to say, okay, so if Nico stays healthy, Nico probably have anywhere from 1100 to like 1180. I can see realistic goal for a rookie. I can see 550. If Nick Caley's offense is going to be what everybody's saying it's going to be, I can see him in the 550, 600 range with like five, 5 to 7 touchdowns. I think he'll have. I think he'll have like 7 touchdowns. So I'm gonna say right now, preliminary, I'm gonna say 550 to 600 yards receiving and 7 touchdowns because I think that Nico is gonna have like over 1100 and maybe like um, 11 or 12 touchdowns. But it just all depends on what happens with the coverage on Nico because these teams are going to come out and they're going to make their Higgins is going to have to prove it. Higgins is going to have to prove it to a lot of these teams because they're going to come right out and they're going to roll the coverage over to Nico. And then when you get inside the red zone, they know the connection between CJ Stroud and Nico Collins, and they know that Nico can high point the ball, and they know that Nico's catch radius is huge, and so Stroud just has to put the ball anywhere, so they'll probably roll the coverage, and that's when Higgins is going to have to learn to use his size, his ability, his catch radius, and he's going to have to high point the ball as well. The one thing that's going to be great for the Houston Texans, I feel, if they can keep Nico Collins and they can keep Jaden Higgins healthy for the entire season, is that once you get into the red zone, you're not going to stall anymore, right? I feel, and this is just my opinion talking in June, but I don't feel that you're going to stall anymore because now you got two big body wide receivers that can bully defensive backs. And the only way to stop Nico is you could probably have to double team him or double team him and where CJ can't get him the ball. But if you're going to do that, then that's when Higgins should be able to use his one-on-one ability to be able to win his matches. And if that doesn't happen, hopefully with offense coordinator Nick Caley being a tight ends coach, being that position coach, being that tight end coach, he'll be able to scheme up something to whereas Dalton Schultz may be in there, and maybe he can revitalize, re-energize Dalton Schultz's career and make him the big body, wide receiver. I mean, big body tight end down in the red zone, or maybe use a Cade Stover in a different type of package, or if Brevin Jordan is in the game, maybe they could do that. And this is if of course if everybody makes a team, no trades, whatever the case may be, coming out of training camp. But when you got Nico on one side and now you got Higgins on the other side, those two big body wide receivers, you can use the big body of Dalton Schultz in the red zone. And if Nick Chubb can be anything close to what he was in 2022, now you have two red zone threats coming out of the backfield because we know that Joe Mixon is a dog inside of the red zone. And now you also have Nick Chubb that you can put in the red zone that's a ground and pound type runner. So I know you only asked me about what is the realistic receiving yards for Higgins this year, and then I went off on a tangent. But I think that, all that comes into play, not only when you do it, and not only in the red zone, but what are the coverages going to look like on Nico early, and what will Higgins do? Oh, my bad. And then you still have, what Kalen Bullock called the slot demon in Christian Kirk, who should be able to operate. Christian Kirk should be able to operate a lot a lot freer in this offense because of Higgins and Collins. He should be able to just eat all kinds of space. And when he's not in the game, then you got Jalen Noel in the game. He should be able to eat space once he learns the speed of the game. So, Corey, I didn't mean to go off on a tangent